listening to Full Circle Weekly News. These articles are compiled by Eric the Unready, and I'm your host, Moss Bliss. This is episode 363, covering week 15, April 15th to 21st, 2024. The developers of the Servo browser engine presented an initiative to strengthen modularity and move away from the use of the low-level APIs of the SpiderMonkey JavaScript engine used in Servo to provide support for JavaScript and WebAssembly. Servo plans to move to a higher-level API and an abstraction layer for interacting with JavaScript engines, which will make it possible to get rid of unsafe direct calls to SpiderMonkey code performed in unsafe blocks. Quote, in the long term, the change will allow us to move away from being strictly tied to SpiderMonkey and provide support for other JavaScript and WebAssembly engines, such as the V8 engine used in Chrome, end quote. Servo is written in Rust and is distinguished by its support for multi-threaded rendering of web pages, parallelization of operations with the Document Object Model, DOM, and the use of safe programming mechanisms provided by the Rust language. Servo was originally developed by Mozilla, but is now under the wing of the Linux Foundation. Servo is natively designed to support breaking DOM and rendering code into smaller subtasks that can be run in parallel and make more efficient use of the multi-core CPU resources. Firefox already integrates some parts of Servo, such as the multi-threaded CSS engine and the WebRender rendering system. Kevin Bentley got the management of Outrage Entertainment to open the source code of the project. Kevin, who has taken charge of the support of the new Descent 3 project, is recruiting a team of enthusiasts to revive and continue the development of the game. The code is written in C++ and is open under the MIT license. The game was released in 1999. The game combines a first-person shooter and a flight simulator in open and closed spaces. Single-player mission mode and multiplayer battles are supported. The latest 1.5 patch codebase has been published, including changes prepared several years ago to update code written in the 1990s. The delivery does not include music and libraries for processing ACM and NVE audio and video formats, as Outrage Entertainment does not own the rights. To ensure a correct build of the project, missing libraries will be replaced with stubs for now. The videos used in the intro and final scenes are planned to be converted into a format for which open libraries are available. The GNU project has released GNU Teller 0.10, a free electronic payment system that provides anonymity for buyers but retains the ability to identify sellers for transparent tax reporting. The system does not allow tracking of information about where the user spends money, but provides tools for tracking the receipt of funds while the sender remains anonymous, solving the problems inherent in Bitcoin with tax audits. The code is written in Python and distributed on the AGPL v3 and LGPL v3 licenses. The development is funded by grants from the European Commission, the Swiss State Secretariat for Education, and the Swiss State Secretariat for Research and Innovation. Work is underway to create a product based on GNU Teller, ready for use in the European Union. The Gentoo Linux Distributions Governing Board has approved rules that prohibit Gentoo from accepting any content created using AI tools that process natural language queries such as ChatGPT, Bard, and GitHub Copilot. Such tools should not be used when writing Gentoo component code, creating e-builds, preparing documentation, or submitting bug reports. Oracle has published a bug fix release of VirtualBox 7.0.16. The new version also eliminates 13 vulnerabilities, 7 of which are marked as dangerous. Details about the vulnerabilities were not disclosed, but judging by the severity level set, they allow access to the host environment from guest systems. 2 vulnerabilities appear only on Linux hosts and 2 others only on Windows hosts. The LXQT 2.0.0 desktop environment has been presented, which continues the development of the LXDE and RazorQT projects. The LXQT interface follows the idea of the classic desktop layout, but introduces modern design and techniques that increase the ease of use. LXQT is positioned as a lightweight, modular, fast, and convenient environment based on combining the features of LXDE and RazorQT. The code is hosted on GitHub and is licensed under GPL 2.0 and LGPL 2.1 Ready builds are expected for Lubuntu, Arch Linux, Fedora, OpenSUSE, Mageia, FreeBSD, Rosa, and Alt Linux. MPV 0.38 is out, first released in 2013 as a fork from the codebase of the MPlayer 2 project. MPV focuses on developing new features without worrying about maintaining compatibility with MPlayer. The MPV code is licensed under LGPL v2.1+. Some parts remain under GPL v2, but the transition to LGPL is almost complete, and the TAC enable TAC LGPL option can be used to disable the remaining GPL code. Linus Torvalds refused to accept the kernel change to replace the tab character with a space in the delimiter of the ftrace_record_recursion_size parameter in the kconfig kernel configuration. The change was proposed by the Fedora project developer with a note that using tabs causes the configuration parser to break. Instead of the proposed change, Linus included his own patch in the kernel, which specifically adds tab characters to the definition of the page_shift setting, which sets the offset for various sizes of memory pages. Adding tabs to settings greater than ftrace_record_recursion_size is explained by the fact that the kernel settings file allows the use of both spaces and tabs, so if the parser cannot parse a string with tabs normally, it is a parser problem, and the parser should be fixed. The make-def-config command accepts tabs correctly, so external parsers should process them too. Matthew Kosorek presented the second release of the Miracle-WM Composite Manager, which uses the Wayland protocol and components for building Mir composite managers. Miracle-WM supports tiling windows in the style of the i3 and Sway window managers. Waybar can be used as a panel. The project code is written in C++ and distributed on a GPLv3 license. Current builds are generated in snap format. Miracle-WM is expected to be useful for users who prefer a tiled layout but want visual effects and a more vibrant graphic design with smooth transitions and colors. The results of the annual Debian project leader election have been announced. Andreas Tille was elected for the first time. Jonathan Carter, who served as leader for the past 4 years, did not participate in the election. 362 developers took part in the voting, which is 36% of all participants with voting rights. Last year, the turnout was 28%. Andreas Tille has been involved in maintaining packages for Debian for over 25 years and is the author of the Debian Med project, aimed at optimizing the distribution for solving problems related to medicine and biological research. In addition to development, Andreas also provides mentoring, teaching newcomers who want to join development. Andreas maintains 1,591 packages and ranks first in the project in terms of number of packages downloaded, and also 8th in the number of bugs fixed. The runner-up for the leadership post was Sruthi Chandran, a Debian developer from India who is involved in maintaining 198 packages, including packages with libraries for Ruby, Node.js, and Go, and also font packs. The developers of the Thunderbird email client announced the start of integration of components written in Rust into the codebase. The next major release of Thunderbird, expected to be in July, will include code implementing Microsoft Exchange Web Services mail protocol in Rust. Support for accessing the Microsoft Exchange calendar and address book will be added at a later date. The built-in implementation will allow you to use the client without needing to install third-party add-ons. Disadvantages of integrating Rust support include an increase in the codebase, the need to create missing bindings, and the adaptation of some asynchronous handlers that are not compatible with the model of asynchronous operations in Rust to work with Rust code. Neri 0.1.5 was released, developed under the GNOME extension PaperWM, and implementing Mosaic layout in which the windows are grouped in an infinitely scrolled tape on the screen. Opening a new window leads to an extension of the tape, and previously added windows never change their size. The project code is distributed under the GPLv3 license. Packages are collected for Fedora, NixOS, Arch Linux, and FreeBSD. Neri is based on the Wayland protocol, but allows you to run X11 applications using the X-Wayland DDX server. There is a built-in interface for creating screenshots and recording screencasts, a feature which has the ability to exclude individual windows with confidential information from recording. Kata Containers 3.4 has been published. It is a stack for the organization of containers using installation based on full-fledged virtualization mechanisms. The project was created by Intel and Hyper by combining Clear Containers and RunV technologies. The project code is written in Go and Rust and is developed under the Apache 2.0 license. The development of the project is supervised by a working group created under the Open Infra Foundation, which includes companies such as Canonical, China Mobile, Dell/EMC, EasyStack, Google, Huawei, NetApp, Red Hat, SUSE, and ZTE. You've been listening to Full Circle Weekly News. For more details, see the next issue of the magazine at fullcirclemagazine.org or check the links in the show notes. You can contact me at bardmoss@pm.me. I'll see you next week.